ready for some football. I don't know about you. Who else could it be but your man Lou? Yeah.
Who else could it be? For me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to Thursday Night Football Overtime. Cowboys, Giants, NFC East family business. If these two teams say they ain't did it, then they ain't did it. But if they did, well, that's family business. Ooh, it was some dookie family business. Ew. This was funky. Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, Dallas won't win another game for about a month. Let me see what the next 3 games look like. We know it's tough. We already went through this before, but I want to see the exact teams. I might have misspoke. Let me see who's next. They won't beat the Lions. They won't beat the 49ers. Let's go back. I think I skipped over. They won't beat the Steelers. The Steelers, they just played a Steelers type game tonight. You can't beat the Steelers at their own game. You won't beat the Steelers. If this is the best you got, the Steelers will beat you 20-16 in this same game. That's what you played tonight, a Steelers game. You can't beat them at their own game. So you'll lose that one. You're not physical enough to beat the Lions. They're going to beat you up physically, okay? 49ers, you already know. You see ghosts. When you see the 49ers, you can beat the Falcons. Maybe they'll have their shit together by then, but that's what the next month looks like for the Cowboys. It doesn't look good. Not with what I saw tonight. Now, again, things could change, right? 20-15 victory for the Cowboys, and they get back to 500. And, you know, what probably made me throw up the most about tonight was listening to Kirk Herbstreit fawn over the job. Oh, my God, what a job. This defensive coordinator, Zimmer. Who got the keys to my beamer? Who am I? What did he do tonight? The 1.1 yards per carry they gave up to the Giants, who can't really run the football any damn way? Because I'm looking at Daniel Jones almost go for 3 pounds on these boys, 300, up and down the field on his garbage. Now, granted, they had some injuries and things of that nature. You have to take that into consideration. Where's the pass rush? Where's this vaunted pass rush you were telling me about after the Browns game when, oh, my God, we're a better defense without Dan Quinn? You were 5th in the league last year with Dan Quinn, by the way. And you led the league in turnovers forced. Did you force a turnover tonight? How many times did you sack Daniel Jones tonight? I lost count. I'll wait. Yeah, about that. Daniel Jones, before that last possession, was what, 29 of 39 for 281. I'm not going to worry about that interception or the 3 incompletions he threw on that drive without Malik Neighbors in a desperation. So, yeah, no, I'm not going to sit here and crown this Cowboys defense. The inability of first of all, are we not going to talk about this face mask, this phantom face mask that they put on the wrong team that destroyed the Giants' first drive? We're not going to talk about that? Because that's the real thing. That killed the first drive. And how dare the Giants just go about it like it was the right call? They coach ain't throw a fit. The player ain't throw a fit. Nobody just went about it like, oh, okay, they caught us. They got us. All right, they got us. Y'all can come out. They got us. You didn't touch his face mask, and you going to just let the official call that? You not going to go ballistic on the sidelines? They got to change that call. They called it on the wrong squad. Anyway, I said all of that to say this. I watched 2 teams tonight that looked like they had looked in the previous couple of weeks, minus the Cowboys being exploited on the ground. But that offense is lost. Dallas's offense isn't good right now. And that's the thing I was kind of banking on and hanging my hat on, is that, hey, I don't think this defense is going to be very good this season. But at least you'll have your offense that you can lean on in tough times. I don't think they're in sync, in rhythm. Like, their second best receiver is their tight end. Their third best receiver is Lupke. I'm not bullshitting you, okay? Their second best receiver is Jake Ferguson. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with your tight end being your second best receiver. Their third best receiver is their fullback, Louie. This is what they've been reduced to, okay? They still can't run the football, all right? So there's no real semblance of a run game. Don't tell me that they fixed their run defense tonight. Not buying that. You're going to have to sell that shit to somebody else, okay? I'll reserve judgment until after you play the Steelers, and more notably, when you play the Lions and 49ers, because by the time you get to the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey will be back. So I'll reserve judgment on this revamped rush defense until after you play some teams that are actually going to make you pay, because the Steelers ain't going to stop running the ball even though you can throw it. Why run it when you can throw it, right? All jokes aside, though, a win in the National Football League. Get them any way you can, all right? Get them any way you can, but this is just a sign. This is just a sign that the Cowboys aren't the Cowboys, because this isn't what Giants games look like. And I told you on the podcast in my preview that this would be a close game. Now, I thought Dallas would score that last possession that they had when they settled for a field goal. I thought that was the one they'd scored the touchdown on when it was 17-15. That's the one I thought they'd score the touchdown on, push it out to double, a two-score game and put the game out of reach. That was the one, right? I was shocked when that one ended in a field goal as well, because I thought it would be a close game. I told you guys this will be a close game in the fourth quarter, and Dallas will have to put together a drive to extend the lead and put the Giants away for good. Because that's where I already told you, this is a 9-win team max this season, the Cowboys are. They will not make it to double digits this season in wins. They're searching for answers. You can tell. Mike McCarthy's searching for answers. Mike Zimmer's searching for answers. They really don't know how to fix anything that's going wrong with this team right now. They're hoping, they're guessing, and they're hoping that they guess right. And I can tell you what, with the schedule that they have, guessing ain't going to get it done. Hoping and wishing and praying ain't going to get it done. If you're the Giants, we'll come back to Dallas here in a second. I just got to say this. If you're the Giants, this was your opportunity. Man, did you have a chance tonight to beat the Cowboys, to slay the dragon that is the Dallas Cowboys for you. I mean, Dak Prescott has an impeccable record against you. Has he even lost to the Giants in his career? I thought I saw 12-0. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I saw 12-0. Now 13-0 against the Giants. This was your shot. They're not very good. Not as good as they've been in the past, at least. This was your shot. And Wan'Dale Robinson had a fantastic night. He had a chance on that third down late. Lewis went for the football, missed. It was in his hands, and there wasn't a Dallas Cowboy defender within 20 yards in any direction. He would have been running well inside the 20, inside the 15-yard line probably, before somebody catches him and gets him onto the turf. Darius Slayton had him beat for a deep ball, and Daniel Jones underthrew him. It's Daniel Jones, man. What can I say? What more can I say? It's Daniel Jones. All right? That's to be expected. How about Darius Slayton on a third down? Daniel Jones, not the greatest passer in the world, but it's a catchable football. He dives, and he doesn't catch it. It's these types of missed opportunities. And this is when I knew, oh, you ain't trying to win tonight. You ain't trying to win tonight. Because I just watched my coach on Monday Night Football in a similar situation early in the game establish we ain't here to play nice or to keep it close. We here to win on a fourth down on the first possession of the game. You had a 4th and 4 on the first possession and you settled for a 50-yard field goal? Now you made it. Yay, field goal. Awesome. You had 5 of them. Yay. Who you beating with the field goals, man? You're not playing yourself. You can't beat us and kick 7 and win. You need to score a touchdown at some point. How about you go and send a message on that opening drive? Hey, we ain't here for no moral victories. We ain't here to keep it close for you to pat me on my back and say, hey, we'll get him next time, Tiger. We ain't here for no gold sticker, no juice box, no bag of chips, right? We ain't here for the, hey, you guys did a great job, great effort. Practice on Monday. We ain't here for one of them speeches. We here to win. And you settled for a damn field goal. 5 of them bitches, as a matter of fact. Now, some of the other ones, I got no issues with. You know, once you get into the flow of the game and you see how things are going, your defense is playing well, yeah, take the points. But that was the opportunity at the beginning of the game to say, hey, if we don't get it, we don't get it. But guess what? And I don't think they would have stopped you, to be honest with you. They had no answers for Leak or for Wan'Dale Robinson. No answer whatsoever. You could have picked it up. But at the end of the day, the opportunity was there. You didn't get it done. And that's life. That's who the Giants are, right? You can't put this one on Daniel Jones. I'll just say that. You can't put this. Now, he missed some throws down the field. You know, the Slayton throw was there twice. I thought he had Darius Slayton down the field, and he missed them both times. But I won't allow you to put this one on Daniel Jones. Somebody's got to make a play. Somebody's got to do something. Y'all got to find a way to get in the end zone. I didn't even like the play calls on these 4th downs, right? The first one, if not for a Herculean effort by Motor Singletary, that's a 4-yard loss in the backfield. He has to spin as soon as he gets the ball, spin away from an unblocked Wilson, and then give a little hezzy, just a little head, and then he has to go and turn the corner to get the first down. All of that just to get 1 yard. That's the best play call you got? That's as good as you can do? You came back on another 4th down late in the game and essentially did the same thing. Now, you got both of them, so no complaints, but I mean, it is what it is. 20-15, the Cowboys get it done. Felt like there were opportunities on both sides for this thing to be a little bit different. Cowboys, I thought, had opportunities to maybe blow this thing open. I don't fault McCarthy at the end for trying the field goal. You know, it's easy to second guess. People love to second guess coaches when they make a decision and it doesn't work. This wasn't one of those. Brandon Aubrey doesn't miss. And then he misses, right? Of course he misses in that situation. That's how it goes usually. Why would you punt there, right? Like, I mean, I get it. You're up 5. They need a touchdown. But this is how I feel. I don't want any craziness happening where I could lose with a touchdown being scored. I get it. They're going to have to go 90 yards if you kick this thing and it's fair caught at the 10 with no timeouts and 27 seconds remaining or whatever would have been left on the clock at that time. I get it. But I would prefer to be up 8. Kick it off. He's been doing a great job all night of kicking the ball line drive style inside the landing zone, right? And the worst case scenario is something crazy happens. Something extraordinary happens for the Giants. They still need a 2-point conversion to tie the game. I can't get beat in regulation. I just feel more comfortable now. I get it. A lot of people, well, so much can happen. The kick can be blocked, return for a touchdown. He can miss, which he did. They got great field position. And I hear all of that. I'm just playing the law of averages. Kicks don't get blocked all that often in the league, and my kicker doesn't miss. So I'm playing the law of averages, and the law of averages says that he's going to make this kick. We're going to go up 8. He's going to kick the ball off, and we're going to win this game by 8 points, 23-15. That's what the law of averages said. Now, obviously, it didn't play out that way, but he still won the game. Anyway, I thought that the Cowboys got off to a slow start, but then after they hit that touchdown to CeeDee Lamb, and it was 14-6, I thought they had a chance if they could defensively get a stop and get the football back, which they couldn't because Daniel Jones was shredding them. Then I thought they had a chance to blow this thing open. They had all the momentum, and you could feel the Giants kind of saying, oh shit, here we go again. But the offense kind of neutralized everything and stabilized them tonight by possessing the football, going on these drives. They just couldn't finish the drive. Matter of fact, how many of those drives actually hit the red zone for the Giants in this game? I'm actually curious as to how many of those drives hit the red zone. Giants hit the red zone twice and were 0 of 2 in the red zone in this game. Neither team was efficient on third downs. 3 of 10 for Dallas, 5 of 16 for the Giants. 3 of 4 on fourth down for the Giants, 1 of 1 on fourth downs for the Cowboys. But the both quarterbacks at one point were like 22 of 26. Like, you can't force any incompletions. And, unlike a normal Daniel Jones afternoon or evening, where even if he's highly accurate, he's like 162 yards passing. He had a really solid day against Washington. He was 16 of 28. Now, granted, he did find the end zone in that game, but he's 16 of 28 for 182 yards or some shit like that. He didn't even make 200 yards. He almost put up 300 yards in this game. Right? He was moving the football efficiently and effectively, and he was definitely confident, and he was feeling himself. And the only issue was they would get down there, they would have a penalty, they would do something stupid, and they would hurt themselves. Inopportune times, they'd have penalties. Again, I still want to know what the hell happened with the face mask penalty that they called on the Giants that was supposed to be on Dallas. Like, I need an explanation. If I'm a Giants fan, like, what are we talking about? Now, you got a field goal on that possession still, and the law of averages says with the way the night went, you're probably going to have a field goal anyway. But let's just say you get the personal foul face mask penalty, and that pushes the ball. I think it would have put you at the 29-yard line. If you get into a because I think you ended up in a 4th and 4 and kicked the field goal. If you're inside the Dallas Cowboys 30-yard line, let's say you're at the 20, if it's the 29 that you have first down and 10, let's say you're at the 23 and it's 4th and 4 from the Cowboys 23, I might go for it. Maybe not 4th and 4, maybe 4th and 2 from the 21. I might go for it. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you had opportunities. Cowboys had opportunities. They couldn't get the stop that they needed to really bust this game wide open. And they had chances, though. The defense got stops. They had the football on a number of occasions, up 14-9. I think the score at one point was 12, 17-12 for like 2 or 3 possessions, and they had an opportunity to extend the game out there and couldn't do it. So Cowboys had opportunities. That offensive line, it's funny. We did the NFC East Super Friends, and Okoye Media was on the show, and he said that the offensive line is better. Better how? I did not like Tyler Guyton coming out of Oklahoma, and he's struggling mightily. Now, again, he's young, but Kayvon Thibodeau was putting him in the blender. I mean, he was struggling with Thibodeau. He gave him fits tonight, and he had at least 2 or 3 holding penalties by himself. That line isn't better than it has been in the past, but it was good enough tonight. We'll just leave it at that. It was good enough tonight to get the job done. But who watched this game tonight and walked away saying, damn, man, I don't like our chances against that team or that team? I walked away tonight saying we need to sweep them. And you know what? I wouldn't mind getting the broom out for Dallas and a dustpan. Now, here's the thing. Don't know what Dallas is going to be. Don't know what we're going to be by the time we get there. We don't see those Cowboys until week 12, I believe it is. So it's a long way from now. I don't even want to talk about playing them. I just know they're going to be record-wise fighting for their lives by the time we get to them. This won't be the Dallas that we normally see when we play them late in the season and they're 9-2 or they're 8-3 or they're 10-1, and you're like, okay, yeah, just don't crush us in front of a national audience, right? It ain't gonna be that type of party when we see them. We'll have similar records, or our shit might be better than theirs, depending on if we can take care of business. This division, and this was the biggest takeaway from tonight. Eagles, they already knew that this was their division to lose. They knew that. No one has repeated as division champ since 03-04, and I didn't see Dallas as the team to do it. So the Eagles already went into the season saying, hey, this is our division to lose. And I'm pretty sure they left this game, Eagles fans watching this game say, oh, yeah, this is our division. Dallas is trash. Now, they're not checking for us. They're looking past us. And I like that. By the time they realize, oh, shit, Washington is legit, it might be too late. As a wise man once said, if you're reading this, it's too late. I know Commanders fans watching this game had to say, hey, we can beat both of these teams. I ain't afraid of neither one of them. Now, granted, our defense is trash. And until that gets fixed, and that's why I said the football guys did us a huge solid. We don't see Dallas. Really, Philadelphia is the next team that I think we see in the division. No, we see the Giants again. I think we are done with the Giants before we see Philadelphia for the first time. We see Philly and Dallas, I think, in back-to-back weeks, if I'm not mistaken, 11 and 12, something to that effect. By the time we get to them, if our defense isn't fixed by then, it won't be fixed. You're waiting on something that won't happen. So you'd like to hope that by the time we get to the Eagles for the first time on a Thursday night later on in the season, defense is at least manageable. You're hoping at that point just be mediocre, slightly below average, and you'll take it. Because we can win a lot of games with our offense if the defense can just be mediocre to slightly below average. If you're a Giants fan, you got to be kicking yourself, because if Malik Neighbors doesn't drop the pass against Washington, and if you make one or two more plays in this game, you could be 3-1. Instead, you're 1-3. And let's look at your schedule coming up. Not that it really matters. You travel to Seattle in your next game. Then you have the Bengals. Then you have the Eagles, and then you have the Steelers. So, yeah, doesn't look good for you, honestly. I don't know what Bengals team you're going to get on Sunday Night Football. How the hell did the Giants get a Sunday night game? This shit baffles me. Why are they on a Sunday night? Incredible. Anyway, I digress. Good win for Dallas. Any win in the league is a good win. I don't give a shit what it looks like. I could sit here and poke fun and tease and make fun of the fact that the offense didn't look sharp again and the defense is not fixed by any stretch of the imagination, but you won. That's the most important thing. To hell with all the other shit. You had a number of guys go down. You had guys that didn't play. You could have found a way to lose this game, but you didn't. You won. You're 2-2. You're at 500. Thank you. And you have a chance now to prove people like myself wrong with this upcoming schedule that we don't think you're going to be able to handle, starting with the Steelers on a Sunday night. You got some time to lick your wounds. Michael Parsons didn't finish the game. Trayvon Diggs, not sure if he finished the game. Something was going on with Zach Martin's eye. You had a whole lot of shit going on here. So lick your wounds. You got extra time off, being that it was a quick turnaround. Now you got extra time on the back end with the win to nurse some of those injuries, get better, and hopefully for your sake, be a lot better than you were today against the Steelers, because you already know what you're signing up for. If this Giants team pushed you to the brink and had a level of physicality that had guys cramping up, leaving the game, etc., what do you think the game against Pittsburgh is going to look like? It's this type of game, 20-15. This is the Steelers' Mike Tomlin script right here. This game was preparation for that game in a week and a half from now. The only thing is, they're the masters at the 20-15 game. So you better get your shit together, because you're going to get a steady diet and dose of the run with a little bit of Justin Fields sprinkled on top. And if your run defense is truly fixed, then you'll shut it down. You'll shut it down, and you'll force Justin Fields to beat you, which if Daniel Jones can throw for almost 300, I don't know why Justin Fields wouldn't be able to do the same. But again, we'll see. Cowboys get to 2-2 on the season with the win. Giants drop to 1-3. How many times did the Giants even run the football? I didn't feel like they ran it a ton. They did. They ran it 24 times. Singletary had 14 carries for 24 yards. They put the clamps down on him. And like 3 or 4 of those carries were, 4th and short. Just get the first down type carries. So you weren't trying to get big gains, but they shut him down for the most part. No excuses there. They shut the run game down tonight, but the Giants aren't an effective rush offense. They're not the gauge of, we can stop the run now. That's not the type of team. And I told Bad Dog, your rush offense isn't good enough to really take advantage of Dallas's true weakness, which is their inability to, stop the run, right? You're not good enough in that department. But you threw it well. You threw it effectively tonight, which should have put you in a position to score points. Unfortunately, you couldn't do it. So, Cowboys get it done. Let's go ahead and go inside the odds, brought to you by Bet US.
Inside the odds.
Looking for a new book this football season? Bet US has got you covered. Fastest payouts in the industry. Get up to 10% back on your net losses twice a year. Again, how many books are out there doing that? And here's the big kicker. Get up to 100%, 150% sign-up bonus on up to $2,000 on your first deposit. And then thereafter, on the next 2 deposits, 125% sign-up bonus when you use the promo code YouTube150. So let's dive into some of the numbers. Cowboys were a 6-point favorite. And that's why you heard Al Michaels towards the end of this game when Brandon Aubrey was going out to attempt that field goal saying, hey, this field goal means a lot to a lot of people out there, because if he made it, they would have covered the spread. Obviously, he missed. They did not cover the spread. I know a lot of people were probably kicking themselves and getting pissed off at Brandon Aubrey. The total was 45.5. I would have taken the under. I did not expect fireworks tonight. I did not expect a bunch of points. Matter of fact, what did I say? I thought the score was going to be, I said 29-15, which would be 44. So that's under. It could have gotten to 32. And I think I might have said, I wouldn't be surprised if it was 32. But I think I said 29-15. So 44 was the number that I had. And we didn't even get close to that. We had 35 as the total number for the game. So I knew there weren't going to be a ton of points scored, but I did think Dallas would score more than 20 points tonight. Let's take a look at the 2 quarterbacks in this game. So these numbers are brought to you by Bet US. Pass numbers for Dak Prescott, 259.5 yards was the number for the over-under. Let's see what Dak actually turned in on the evening. Dak had 221 yards, highly efficient tonight, 22 of 27 for Dak Prescott, but he did not hit the over on the passing yards. I would have taken the over, so I would have lost that one. I would have taken the over on the 259.5. I thought he would have been closer to 300 yards, similar to Daniel Jones. I thought he would have been closer to 300 yards on the evening. 23.5 pass completions. I would have taken the over on that as well because of their lack of run game. I just would have thought he would have had to throw it more. and he had 22. So I would have gotten that one wrong as well. And then pass touchdowns, 1.5 pass touchdowns. I would have taken the over because, again, they don't run the ball effectively in Dallas. He would have had to throw it. That's how they were going to get in the end zone. They scored 2 touchdowns tonight, both off the right arm of one Dak Prescott. So the over would have been correct there. And once again, while we're on the subject matter, check out the prop builder on BetUS. You got some inklings about a game. You think this guy's going to score. You think this guy's going to score a touchdown. You can build your own prop bet. Check it out on betus.com and check out their prop builder. It's fun. I played around with it on the website the other day. A lot of fun. Daniel Jones, other side of the coin. Daniel Jones's night, 202.5 over under in terms of pass yards. I would have taken the over. You know, as much as I rag on Daniel Jones for usually not throwing for 200 yards most weeks, it was going to take him throwing the football because I didn't. Even though the Dallas Cowboys rush defense isn't great, they aren't a great rush offense. So I didn't think they would exploit Dallas's rush defense, and he'd still have to throw the football. I thought he'd have time because this vaunted Cowboys pass rush isn't all that vaunted at all, as we saw tonight. And Andrew Thomas is really good. He's really good. He's really, really good. Daniel Jones had 281 yards passing tonight, you know. And before the 3 incompletions, he was 29 of 37. So, I mean, you could argue that's one of the best performances he's turned in. I thought he looked good tonight. I'm not even going to hold you. Outside of the deep balls that he missed, and he missed 2 of them, but one, and they still could have been caught. But outside of the deep balls, I thought Daniel Jones was sharp. Even the one on the 3rd down to Darius Slayton that wasn't the greatest throw, that was a catchable football. Should have been a 1st down. Would have been 1st and goal inside the 10 at around the 8 or 9. And Slayton just didn't catch it, which we know Slayton is good for one of those. So the over was the play there, and he went over big time. 20.5 completions. Again, if Daniel Jones is going to surpass 200 yards, he's going to do it throwing the ball and completing it more than 20.5 times, right? So he's going to have more than 21 completions, or more than 20 completions. So he had 29 on the night. So I clearly I was taking the over if I'm taking the over on the yardage. And then passing touchdowns, 0.5 was the number. 0.5 was the over-under number, and he had no touchdown passes. I would have lost. I would have taken the over because I would have said he's going to throw 1 touchdown pass to Malik Neighbors or Wan'Dale Robinson or someone, right? And you couldn't find 1 trip to the end zone, and so didn't quite get it done. So those are the odds for the game for the 2 quarterbacks. We'll come back a little bit later on and go back inside the odds brought to you by BetUS and take a look at some of the other prop bets with the receivers and the running backs a little bit later on for both squads. So let's get to the comment section and see what you guys have to say. I won't hold you. I fell asleep on that game briefly. Like my wife had to nudge me. Boom, like we were in church. And get up. What's wrong with you? Then I was up after that. But this Jay tried to put me down. He tried to put me to sleep. And I was not expecting that. Now the NFC East game putting me to sleep. Jesus. Let's see. King of the Bluegrass. I think we did this one earlier. Yeah. We did that one earlier. Take command for life. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Take command for life writes, CMC going to be out for a couple of months now. Oh, that's fine. If he's out, they can't stop Jordan, what's his face? They can't stop him either. He'll run for 100 and change on them. So it doesn't matter if it's CMC or if it's my guy that ran all over the Jets in week 1. He had back-to-back 100-yard games the first 2 weeks of the season. He didn't go over 100 against the Rams, but he's more than capable enough of shredding this Cowboys defense. No worries. Duncan, right. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Louie, you be talking a lot of smack. You wash. Meh. Stop. Now, I'm getting really good at my job because I was able to decipher what you were trying to say. How many drinks have you had already tonight? Where's your translator? I can see where this is heading. Get your translator. Okay? John Cedillo, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, John, writes, Sup, Lou? Sup, John? Says, this game wasn't impressive by any means. If they walk out of the next month plus with only one win, they likely aren't making the playoffs. And when I look at the schedule, I look at this performance and I look at the schedule, that's kind of what I see. The Falcons, maybe. I'm not telling you can't beat Pittsburgh. I don't see you beating the Lions or the 49ers. But you could definitely beat Pittsburgh. They're not, they're not unbeatable despite their record being perfect to this point, because they don't score points. So you can get them, but the question is, will they get you first? And the way that they play defense, I'm not impressed with your offense enough to think that you're going to score enough points against Pittsburgh to beat them at their game. But you never know, right? We'll see what happens. A lot of time between now and then, anything could happen with the Steelers between their game this week and the game next week. So that's going to be an interesting game on Sunday Night Football. One I'll be looking forward to. Hopefully we would have gotten a dub earlier in the day. It always makes it that much sweeter after you've won and now you sit back and you watch a team in the division hopefully struggle and lose. But I'm with you, John. This next month is going to be critical for the Cowboys in terms of what the future of this particular season looks like, because like I said, their schedule doesn't get any easier, right? You've got Steelers, Sunday Night Football, Lions the week after that, Cowboys, Sunday Night Football. They have a bye week. Then they have the 49ers, right, on a Sunday night after the bye, on the road at San Francisco, by the way. Then you have the Falcons the following week on the road. Then you're at home against the Eagles. Then you got the Texans. I mean, this shit is ridiculous. I mean, after that game against the Texans, you got the Commanders, right? Texans is a Monday night game. Then you got the Commanders, and then you got a Thanksgiving game against the Giants. I mean, there's not one pocket of this schedule where shit eases up, honestly speaking. So I just don't know where you're allowed to get your shit together. You're going to have to figure it out on the fly and start playing competent ball while beating good teams. And that's tough to do in this league. That's tough to do in this league. If you do it this year, says a lot about your staff, because I don't think your staff is good enough to get you where you need to go, personally speaking. Staff or roster, to be honest with you. But we'll see. I agree with you. You got to win 2 out of your next 4 games to stay at 500, right? To be at 4-4, because I don't necessarily think anybody's running away with the division, right? Necessarily. But you need to stay close enough within striking distance. You start talking 3-5 or 2-6 or anything crazy like that, and you can forget about it. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. Abdullah, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, They can't use that field goal excuse with us no more. Ha ha ha. The dub stands for a dubby, dub dub. Look, I personally wasn't concerned with the field goal whole thing because I knew the truth, and anybody that watched the game that was objective knew. Look, if we didn't have all those penalties, we were going to get in the end zone. And this is the thing about the Giants. Everyone knows they don't score a lot of points. When's the last time the Giants scored 30 in a game? You got obviously they haven't done it this year. But how? I mean, I think they did it the last game of the season. They beat up the Eagles pretty good. I venture to say that they had to. It was bad. It was all bad. So I'd say it was the final game of the season last year that they scored 30. But they don't do it often, you know. And so it just you knew they were going to have to score points tonight, and I wasn't, which is why I didn't think they would win. Right? You know, LB. He was texted. We were in our group text today, and he was like, "Yo, the Cowboys fans gonna put a hit out on me if they lose this game." And he said, "I'm not only am I going live on my channel after the game if they lose, I'm going live on the Super Friends channel the next day." I said, "Bro, they're not gonna lose. You have nothing to be excited about. It ain't happening." Bad Dog's like, "Hey, we got a shot." Excuse me. I'm like, they're not winning, okay? Because they're not going to score enough points. That's their biggest issue is they don't score enough points. And on a night where the Cowboys could only muster 20, they couldn't get 21. It's a tough place to be, right? Because you knew anybody with a set of eyes could see. A set of eyeballs could see that this is the opportunity to get Dallas. They're not themselves. And the opportunity was there. And they couldn't get it done. Duncan Wright, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, "I don't care about your opinions. It's Dallas. Eagles rule the NFC East, admit it, and we gonna get some sleep. You ghouls. Somebody said, "Drunken Right in the building." I think Drunken Right is right. That's a good one. Drunken Right, everyone. Duncan Wright, thank you for the super chat. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. This is actually a triple up, but y'all like ice cream, admit it. Eagles rule. Okay. Yeah, I mean, eventually y'all got to come see us, or we'll see y'all. You know, we don't mind going to y'all building and taking care of business. So we'll see y'all in a bit. Austin Testament, stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB mob. You know what to do. Show Austin some love. Welcome him with open arms. Show him what it's like to be a member of the MOBB. Welcome to the squad, Austin Testament. Duncan Wright, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Duncan writes, "Thank you, Giants and Commanders. Eagles now rule. Thanks." Uh-oh. Drunken Wright has definitely entered the building. For sure. Cruising 26. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Great. Cruising writes, 13 games in a row. No damn confidence in beating this team. I still love my big blue. 13 straight losses to Dak Prescott. So I think if I'm not mistaken, I remember Bad Dog saying that you guys swept him in his rookie season, if I'm not mistaken, which was 2016, I believe, or what's his rookie season? I think his rookie season was 2016, which would mean the Giants were actually good that year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Was that the boat year? Was that the boat year for the Giants? Kind of feel like that was the boat year for the Giants. I could be wrong. But you guys swept him in his rookie season because I think in his rookie season, Dallas went like 13-3. I felt like. So 2 of the losses were against you guys. That would be crazy. But he hasn't lost to you since. I think that's the case. And like you said, there ain't a bunch of confidence when it comes to playing against this Dallas Cowboys team. They got your number. They know it. You know it. And for whatever reason, and we see it all the time, like teams that struggle to beat another team, and there's sort of a mental block that takes place when you play that team, and simple things don't get done, and things that can go wrong do go wrong. Like he had a crazy fumble on a kickoff again. Luckily enough, the tight end was Johnny on the spot. It almost looked like a pitch to him or something. Because he's jumping over somebody and oh shit, look the ball, and he grabs it as he's jumping over somebody. That's crazy. Wan'Dale Robinson has to catch that football. And it's such a tough play because when somebody flashes in your line of sight, you lose sight of the football temporarily. And that's what happened. Lewis went for the pick, or at least the pass breakup. And he swiped in front of, and his whole body swiped in front of Wan'Dale Robinson, and he lost sight of the ball for a second. And by the time he was able to pick the ball back up, it was on him, and he dropped it. He catches that football. Again, I don't know when he gets tackled, if he gets tackled, but if he does get tackled, it's deep in Cowboys territory. Deep in Cowboys territory. So that was the play for me. That was the one where you go, if we were going to win the game, that play needed to be made. And it didn't get made. That was the one. Shauna Gang, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Shauna Gang writes, hey, Lou, what's up? How are you? Doing well. About yourself? How do you think what do you think our chances are with Arizona? And I'm going to my first game when we play the Browns. Love your content. I'm nervous about Sunday, though. You should be nervous about Sunday. You should be. I'll talk about our chances against Arizona tomorrow, what I think we have to do to win the game. Arizona's a good team, and we don't play well there. The last time we went there, obviously, we lost in 2020, 30-15. We were down 20-0 at halftime of that game, I believe. I already replayed that game for you. Landon Collins had a pick on the first possession. Dwayne Haskins got stripped and fumbled, gave it right back to him. And then after that, Kyler Murray went off on us. And we never stood a chance in that game. That was one of those Terry games. But Terry went over 100 yards receiving. That was one of those type games. Overall, though, we are up in the series, and we have a winning record in Arizona. But to my knowledge, and somebody can tell me that I'm wrong, we've never beaten Kyler Murray. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to think about, have we played them with him again after 2020? Because we played them in 2020, we lost. And then we played him last year, obviously, to start the season, but he wasn't healthy. So I'm not sure that we've seen Kyler Murray since his second season. And I don't think we've beat him. Kyler Murray and that offense scares the hell out of me. But our offense is good enough to present problems for their defense as well. So it'll be an interesting game. And when we play the Browns, you're going to be at a lot. I think that feels like it has a chance to be a sellout and a raucous environment for the Commanders coming back home after a 2-game, road trip. That one feels like it's got a chance to be lit, and you'll be in attendance there. That one should be a lot of fun. Especially, it'll be even heightened if somehow we're able to beat Arizona and we're riding a 3-game heater going into that game. What? Are you kidding me? That game is going to be live. Appreciate you, Shauna Gang. Thank you for the support. Austin Testament, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being the newest member of the MOBB, who writes, Louie, sup? What do you think of Jaden's stat line? What do you think Jaden's stat line will be this year? I mean, it's hard to say. One thing that he's shown me is that the completion percentage is going to be pretty high. So I'm thinking he'll be, right now, he's got 600 and some odd yards passing, I believe, through 3 weeks. He was just under 200 in week 1. He was like at 224, I feel like, in week 2, and then like 254 in week 3. So it's 600 and something yards passing. If that trend continues, roughly let's call it 225 a game. So 200 times 17 is 34. 25 times 17 is 425. So that would put you at 3,825. So we'll say 3,825 yards. So somewhere in that, close to that 4,000 neighborhood. But if he stays on this trajectory, 3,800 yards, 21 touchdowns, 6 or 7 interceptions. I don't think he finishes with anything less than a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. So if it's 18 touchdowns, it's 6. If it's 21, it could be 7, but no higher than that. And who knows? The touchdown numbers could spike, or they could continue to just, because here's the thing: when we get in the red zone, I see us running it in more times than throwing it. Like a lot of his touchdown passes, I believe, are going to come from distance, from the 12-yard line on a screen, or the 18-yard line on a dig, or, a slant that goes, or, a slot fade from the 24 or something like that. I don't think there's going to be, we get to the 6 and he's throwing a touchdown pass, because once we get inside the 5 and to the 3, that's when that read option becomes a threat. So I think he's going to have, we'll go with 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and an additional 12 rushing touchdowns. What does he already have? 3, right? If I'm not mistaken. He had 2 in the Tampa game. We didn't score any in the Giants game, and he had 1 in the Bengals game. So that's 3. So I think he's going to have 12 rushing touchdowns on the season. So he'll account for 33 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He may fumble once or twice. But all in all, somewhere in that 6 to 8 turnover neighborhood, account for 33 touchdowns, 68.4% completion percentage, which is insane for a rookie. Really, it's a great season for any quarterback. Forget about rookie, veteran, whatever. And yeah, that's what I think. If he does that, we got a shot. And right now, nothing says that. I mean, I'm being modest. If what we saw Monday is the tip of the iceberg, he's throwing for over 4,000, and he's going to end up with 27 touchdown passes or something like that, And rush yards wise, he's at I don't think he's at 200 because he didn't break Robert Griffin III's record. I think Robert had like 188 yards rushing through his first 3 games or something like that. Let me look it up. My guess is he had 70 something in his first game. I think it was 70 something. Might have been 80 something. And really after that, he's kind of calmed down. And I don't think he's going to run a ton moving forward. So I'm going to say he's going to have like 687 yards rushing, something like that. But let me see where he is right now from a statistics standpoint. He's got 664 yards passing. He's got 170 yards, 71 yards rushing. So yeah, I think he's going to end up with about 600 and some change. So yeah, something to that effect. That's where I'm at. John Cedillo, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Pitt will be difficult. Guyton getting a healthy dose of TJ Watt. Dak did lose to the Giants twice as a rookie. I thought that's what it was because he hasn't lost to them since. Not sure if I trust the Lions defense, so that may give us an off chance. And you're not wrong. Their defense has actually been really good this season. It's been their offense, surprisingly enough, that hasn't been great. Their defense has been good this season. When you look at their games, Jared Goff has been a problem. He's turned the ball over. He looks like the Jared Goff of old. Like the new car smell in Detroit is wearing off, it feels like. And he's getting back to that Jared Goff that got, traded from the Rams, where he's kind of turning it over. He snapped out of it a bit last week, was a little bit more cautious, but they haven't had a 30-point performance this season. They scored 26 in overtime against the Rams in week 1. They scored 16 against the Bucs in week 2, and they scored 20 in week 3 against the Cardinals. So it's their offense right now that's the question. Their defense is the only thing that's giving them a shot in a lot of these games, to be honest with you. So that Lions game isn't like, oh, you're definitely losing to the Lions. Yeah, even the 49ers. All right. Somebody said McCaffrey's going to be out longer. You might be getting Jordan Mason instead of McCaffrey, but he's fully capable. But they're struggling to start the season off. The Lions aren't super sharp. Like anything can happen. But the difference with me is the Steelers are mentally tough. The Lions are mentally tough. The 49ers are mentally tough. The Cowboys are not. And that's why I don't think you're going to win any of those games. Is because when shit gets tough and your best is required and mental toughness is required, that's when the Cowboys fold. They're a tremendous front-running team. When shit's going well, they're in many teams in the league better, maybe outside of Baltimore. There are many teams that are better when shit's going well. I can say, though, you showed the ability to stare adversity in the face against Baltimore, and you rallied. I damn sure didn't see that coming. Yeah, Guyton. Normally, TJ doesn't line up on that side of the formation. That's normally Highsmith's side, but he's even banged up a little bit. So you may catch a break there. But if I'm the Steelers, seeing how Guyton struggled with Kayvon Thibodeau, you damn right I'm lining up TJ Watt on that side to get a piece of that action. For sure. Shauna Gang, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, hey, Lou, do you agree with the JD5 comparisons to Lamar? No. I love the quote from Dan Quinn, first and foremost, that he said came from one of the old presidents, John Adams or some shit like that. I don't know who the hell said it. This is why I just say a wise man once said, comparisons are a thief of joy. So I'm not looking to compare him to anybody. I just want him to be the best Jaden that he can be. But I think there are aspects of his game that take bits and pieces of a number of elite quarterbacks around the league. I think he can be a playmaker outside of the pocket like Josh Allen. I think he can run and move like a Kyler Murray or a Lamar Jackson, more like a Lamar than a Kyler. I think he can be cerebral from the pocket like a CJ Stroud, where not only is he pinpoint accurate and can thread the needle, but he also still does that while taking care of the football. A lot of guys can be accurate, but they'll turn it over. Like, that's another big component of what he does. So I think there are a number of things that he does really well that gives him a chance to be extraordinary in this league. But again, small sample size, got to do it consistently, got to do it on a consistent basis. So you don't want to put the cart before the horse, right? So we'll see. Duncan Wright, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Duncan writes, hey, I'm not drinking, Duncan, until you beat me. I'm the man. I want to talk on. I'm here now. Talk to me, Commander Scrubs. Well, that was coherent. So maybe you aren't drunken right tonight. Maybe you are okay. Shauna Gang, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, did you hear great news? Injury report, Sam? Yeah. I told you that when DQ spoke on Wednesday, he pretty much said that the only two guys that were of any concern were the two that were out for the game, which were Austin Eckler and Cleveland Farrell. Everybody else, he said, we're in pretty good shape. So that included Sam Cosmi. Like I said, the only reason that I think he was probably on the injury report to begin with is he was a little sore after the game. And because it was a quick turnaround, he didn't have the normal time to recover. Had it been a Sunday game and they had the extra day and they were able to, do the things that they normally do, he may still have been on the injury report. Don't get me wrong. But he might have been up there and Wednesday might have been limited instead of a DNP. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I don't think it's anything serious. And then I think I saw somebody tweet out, it may have been Ben Standig, that tweeted out that he's good to go. He's going to be fine. He should be playing on Sunday. So I'm not super concerned. But anytime I see an Achilles, it does peak. Yeah, I do perk up like, uh-oh, Let's go inside the odds one more time.
Inside the odds.
Looking for a new book this season? BetUS has you covered. Fastest payouts in the industry. Also get up to 10% back on your net losses twice a year. And the big kicker, 150% sign-up bonus on up to $2,000 on your first deposit. And then on the following two deposits, up to 125% sign-up bonus when you use the promo code YouTube150. Got some Cowboys props, and then we're going to look at a couple of Giants props from the Week 4 matchup. Up first, Rico Dowdle, rush yards. I'm pretty sure he didn't crack. I would have taken the under there. Rico Dowdle isn't a guy that moves the needle for me. None of the Cowboys running backs do at this current juncture. So I would have taken the under. Let's see what Rico Dowdle did in the game. Oh, shit. 11 carries, 46 yards for Rico Dowdle. So I would have been wrong there. And then CeeDee Lamb, 83 yards. I would have taken the over because, who else are they throwing the football to? Lupke? Bergs? Tolbert? Like, who else are they throwing the ball to? Cooks? CD was definitely going over 83 yards. So CD had 7 catches, 98 yards. So that was an easy one there. This next look is also brought to you by BetUS. Giants running back Devin Singletary, 62.5 receiving yards. Receiving yards. Let's see what Singletary. We clearly know he didn't hit that. He had one catch for 14 yards. Malik Neighbors had 12 catches for 115 yards on 15 targets. And Wan'Dale Robinson had 11 catches on 14 targets. If he had 12 catches and caught that one over the middle, that could have been the difference in the ball game. So I would have taken the under on Singletary's receiving yards. That's way too many yards receiving for him. I don't even know why the number was set so high, to be honest with you. But Malik Neighbors, 73.5. Anything under, 90 yards, I'm taking the over. Or like, this guy's ridiculous. And he is by far and away their best player. You have to take the over on Malik Neighbors. They're going to get him the football. He had, like I said, 115 yards in this game. So that would have been easy money. But as you can see what the number is, minus 114, they're not giving money away here. They're not stupid. Okay, they understand what the situation is. They know that he's getting the football. So they're not going to give you an opportunity to fleece them on that note. All right. Let's see. No, I was going. I thought about doing something else, but I'll save that for another time when I think it's relevant. I don't think it. If the Cowboys had lost this game, it might have become very, very relevant, but they didn't. So I won't bring it up right now. I'll leave that one in my back pocket. Ebad Shamim, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, maybe overreaction, but I feel we can go 7-2 by week 9. With Ravens being only loss, week 10 and onwards look toughest, where we get our most of our losses. I agree that the schedule does get a ton tougher, starting with week 10 with the Eagles and the Cowboys and some of those teams starting to get on the schedule there. But I'm not, again, one game at a time. I don't want to start overlooking teams and, counting wins and things of that nature, because we're still not that good. We're not good enough to do that, to overlook someone and say, hey, that I'm just telling you, going into games, I'm going to feel a lot different, than I would have prior to the Bengals performance. But, still, they got to show me that. And I put out the episode today of CNN and I talked about it. This is a challenge. This game is against Arizona because it's really going to show us if we can handle the success of Monday night. And I really feel like they're going to, do a much better job than, the last group did. And granted, I can sit here and talk all the shit I want about the Rivera era, but in multiple years, we won, we had streaks. We even named it the Rivera streak, right? Every year except for 2023, we had a streak in that season that allowed us to win multiple games back to back to back. So, but the problem was it wasn't sustainable. We weren't good enough and it wasn't sustainable. And so you're hoping that it's a little bit different this time around. But you got to start winning first to be able to be put in that position to see if the team has gotten to a point where they can handle some sort of success. This is a really good test here to see. Love the fact that they didn't come back home. They went straight to Arizona, stayed kind of in a cocoon, so to speak. And I really like the environment that they've cultivated. Now let's see what they do, right? So anyway, I digress. Let's see. See if there's any comments. I might grab one or two and then get out of here. I ain't gonna keep y'all here much longer. See. Kevin, the PRF says you're not allowed to poke fun at the Dolphins Titans after this. You might be right, but yeah. It wasn't a fun game to watch. I was disappointed because anytime it's NFC East related, I hunker down and I'm ready. And I was for the game tonight, and then all of a sudden I was like, what is this? Can't get jiggy to this shit. Next thing you know, I'm over there and I got the church elbow, and I had to get up after that. So Flo writes, been with you since like 2015, 2016. I want to tell you congratulations on finally finding your QB. My Dolphins are still looking. Yeah, and you know, I don't know how you felt about Tua, but yeah, his situation will never be the same. Even if he comes back. I don't think you can think he'll be the same quarterback that he once was. NES Tecmo says, just want to be 4-2 in the division. These teams don't scare me because of our QB, our special QB. Comparison is the thief of joy. I just brought that up. I'm just trying to live out here, man. All right. I hope Neighbors is all right too, because he left the game with a concussion. And I didn't even see what happened to him. He might have been a little wobbly before that. And then when he went down on that catch, because it felt like he was already kind of like out on his feet as he was going out, which is why the ball came out. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. All right. Vincent Coe, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Vincent writes, our 3-0, not impressive, but we can beat the Lions. You always play the Lions tough. Always. You know what? I'm going to tell you, Vincent, the last 2 years in particular, those Lions games were some of the most entertaining games. 2 years ago, I think the score might have been 45-41 or some shit like that, right? Crazy game. Last year, I don't remember the score, but I remember it was like a pick six thrown late in that game. And I think y'all might have come back and beat them. Because I just remember that game was in week 2 last year because we were in South Beach. And it was one of the games we were watching before we left and went to the next bar that we ended up going to. So, and that one was a hell of a game as well. You guys always play each other tough every year. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. And I don't disagree with you. Your 3-0 isn't impressive, but you're 3-0. This is the chance to validate your 3-0. You want people to respect your 3-0? You got to do what the Vikings did. Nobody respected the Vikings 1-0, so they had to go beat San Francisco. And when people said, oh, they didn't have McCaffrey and Debo got hurt. Okay. They went out and beat the Houston Texans. Now what you going to say? You got to validate your 3-0 with a stamp, the validation stamp. Go beat a team where they can't tell you your shit ain't legit. Here's your opportunity on a national stage. Go validate your undefeated record. Oh, Kevin, the PRF says he went face first into the turf. Okay. I didn't see it. I did not see that. All right. I don't see any more hashtags. Oh, here we go. One right here. I have a question. Do you think we have a chance against the Eagles? Yes. Yes, I do. I haven't seen any team in this division, and for that matter, any team on our schedule. I thought the toughest game on the schedule was Cincinnati on the road. We won that game. So they're in the game on the schedule that I don't think we can win, first and foremost. That was the one. We won it. So, and our defense is trash, and we gave up 4 passing touchdowns and over 300 yards, and Jamar Chase shredded us, and we still won. So, in my mind, we can beat anybody. Will we? No, I don't know, right? Like, we're not going to beat everybody. But can we? Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, okay. It was Teddy Roosevelt. I knew it was one of those old ass dudes. Somebody up, there. Old Teddy Rowe. JD 5 Season says Arizona game gonna be 105 degrees. Well, good thing they play inside now, isn't it? Good thing they play inside in a controlled environment where it'll be probably 75 degrees inside that State Farm Stadium. So no worries about that. Shauna Gang says, why did Eagles fan super chat said he had top 10 defense? I didn't see that super chat, but we all know that's not true. They definitely don't have a top 10 defense. But they play like one against the Saints. We'll give them credit for that. Maybe they got a top 10 scoring defense. Maybe they have that. That's possible because they haven't given up a lot of points since the first game of the season. But even that doesn't seem realistic with teams like Denver who haven't given up a ton of points this season. And the Steelers who haven't given up a ton of points this season. And the Steelers who haven't given up a ton of points this season. And the Chargers who haven't given up a ton of points. Like, it's too many teams that who haven't given up many points at all this season. The Eagles gave up almost 30 in the first game of the season. So, and then they gave up 22, and then they gave up 12. So I don't think they're in the top 10 of that either, but I digress. Anyway, want to give a shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this stream. Once again, if you're looking for a new book this football season, BetUS is the place to go. Use the promo code YouTube150 to get you 150% sign-up bonus on up to a $2,000 deposit on your first deposit, and then the subsequent 2 deposits thereafter, 125% sign-up bonus. So that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on Thursday Night Football Overtime. Cowboys survived the Giants 20-15, improved to 2-2 on the season, get back to 500. Meanwhile, the Giants dropped to 1-3. The Giants had their chances. They didn't get it done. The Cowboys get a much needed victory. Looking at their schedule, they had to have this game, and they got it. And now we'll see what they're able to do with the momentum that they've been able to get here, snap the 2-game skid that they were on, and now you parlay that and see what you can do on the road on a Sunday night next week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So That's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. I'll see you guys next time. We'll be back tomorrow for the Louie T Network podcast, among other things. Until then, you guys take care. God bless. And good night.